Hello everybody, this is Miss Williams here, and this is your lesson for Thursday, April the 16th. This is your final lesson on order of operations. Today you will watch this video and do some problems as you go through the video, so please have a paper and pencil ready. You will then do some practice on IXL. And finally, you will take a quiz informative. So let's get started. Our review, GEMDAS. G is for grouping, which means parentheses or brackets. E is for exponents. M and D are for multiplication. And division. A and S are for addition and subtraction. The other thing that's important, multiplication and division, you do left to right. Addition and subtraction, you do left to right. Let's start on some problems. Problems number 1 and 2, I would like you to have a go at doing these. So please put the video on pause and try to do these two problems. Okay. The first problem has addition and multiplication. Because multiplication is more powerful than addition, you do the multiplication first. So it's going to be 4 plus 40, because 8 times 5 is 40. And then when you add those two together, you get 44. For number 2, it has subtraction and division. Division is more powerful than subtraction. It comes higher up on the scale. There's the division. There's the subtraction. So you're going to do this division first. So this becomes 76 minus 10, and 76 minus 10 is 66. Moving up, one more problem for you to try before we go into the exponents review. Again, pause the video and have a go at doing this problem. All right. We have addition, multiplication, and subtraction. Because the subtraction is inside parentheses, this is grouping, and you're going to do the whole grouping first. That's why I drew a circle around it. So this becomes 3 plus 6 times 4. Then what we have left is the addition and the multiplication. Of those, you do the multiplication first, 3 plus 24. So you get 27 as your answer. So remember, when you see the parentheses, you do what's inside the parentheses first. Be careful not to add that 3 and that 6 in problem number 3. It's very tempting to add the 3 and the 6, but that would be incorrect, because you need to do the parentheses first and then the multiplication, and then that addition that's on the outside is the very last thing you do. Okay, quick review of exponents. Again, I'd like you to pause the video. All right, 3 to the power of 4 is 4 factors of 3 multiplied together. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And 27 times 3 is 81. Number 5 here is 4 squared equal to 8. True or false? This is false because 4 squared is 4 times 4. It's 2 factors of 4 multiplied together, value of 16. Okay, so that's kind of our review of some of the things you've already done. What we're going to do today is we're going to use exponents with parentheses in preparation for some of the work you're going to do in the quiz today. Number 6, problem number 6, you're going to square the 2 first because squaring comes before addition. So this one becomes 4 plus 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. And so the answer is 8. Now, the next 2 problems introduce something new. So I would like you looking just at number 7 and number 8. So number 7 and number 8 look very much the same. I want you to look at them closely. There's an important difference. One of them has the squared inside the parentheses. The other, the power of 2 or the squared, is outside the parentheses. So remember what I said to you a few moments ago. When you see the parentheses, think of them as a group that you do together. Whatever is inside the parentheses. So now if you look at those 2 problems, you can see one of them is just 4 plus 2. That's on the inside. The other is 4 plus 2 squared. Oh, we just did 4 plus 2 squared a moment ago. So this one becomes 3 times 4 plus 4, which is 3 times 8, which is 24. This one here, number 8, becomes 3 times 6 squared. Now, which do we do first? Do we multiply 3 times 6 or do we square the 6? Look back at your notes. Which comes first? Multiplying or exponents? Which comes first? Multiply, so 3 times 6, and then square it, or square the 6 and then multiply by 3. The squaring comes first, the exponents come first. So 6 squared is 36. So this is 3 times 36. And 3 times 36 is going to be 108. So you see whether that exponent is inside the parentheses or outside the parentheses makes quite a big difference. And what at first looked like those 2 problems were very similar, they were actually quite different. Let's do another one like that. And this time I'm going to pause for a moment and have you guys do it by yourselves. So I'd like you to do number 9 and number 10. Pause the video and have a try. All right, let's start with number 9. So number 9, I'm looking inside the parentheses, and I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses first. Inside the parentheses, I've got 20 minus 4 squared, so I need to square that 4 as the very first thing I do. Then I'm going to do this subtraction that's inside the parentheses. And then I do the multiplication. So the answer to number 9 is 20. The answer to this one, let's have a look. So inside the parentheses, all I have is 20 minus 4, which is 16. The squared is on the outside. So now I need to square the 16. And I don't know if you guys can do that in your heads. but I think I need a little help. So I'm going to use my calculator. So let's look together and let's do 16 squared. 16 times 16, 256. So this is going to be 5 times 256. And again, remember, we do the squaring before we do the multiplication. The 5 in front of the parentheses is multiplication. So we do the squaring first, and then we multiply by 5. And on my calculator, I just multiplied that by 5, and I got 1,280. I want you to see the difference between the two answers for number 9 and number 10. Whether that squaring is inside the parentheses or outside the parentheses makes a big difference to your final answer. All right, we've got a few more questions to do. We're now going to add some extra things into our problems. And this is what I'm calling pulling it all together. So there are 4 problems here to try. And they combine parentheses, exponents, and the order of operations. Look at that addition sign on the outside and the subtraction sign on the outside. Those should be the last things that you do. I'd like you to try these problems. I'm going to pause. Okay, let's look at number 11. Grouping first, inside the parentheses. 2 squared is 4. Four plus 4 is 8. Two times 8 is 16. And when you take 16 from 83, 67. Notice how I did the subtraction as the very, very last thing because it was not inside grouping, and subtraction is one of the lowest operations in GEMDAS. Okay, addition and subtraction come last if they're not inside grouping. Number 12 over here. The first thing is the grouping. What's inside the parentheses? After grouping, the next thing is exponents. After exponents, multiplication or division, which is that, because 2 times 36 is 72. And then at the very end, I do the subtraction. Take 72 from 83, I believe, is 11. And again, those problems were very similar. The main difference was where the squaring was. And we have another set of problems just like those for number 13 and 14. So I'd like you to try 13 and 14. I'm going to pause. Okay, here we go. Squaring first. Inside the grouping, well, grouping first, but inside the grouping, I'm going to square to get 25. Then I'm still working on the grouping, and I have 27. Then 3 times 27 is 81. And the very last thing I do is the addition to get 86. Number 14, this is the last problem we'll do. 5 plus 3 times 7 squared. 5 plus 3 times 49. 5 plus 147. And adding 5 to 147 is 152. Okay, I'm running out of time on the video, so we're going to stop here at this point. I would like you guys to do some practice on IXL, the same skills that we practiced yesterday, and then take the quiz informative.